Glacier National Park, the home to one of the grandest landscapes in the continental US, as the home to some of the fiercest animals alive, as well as the most majestic. It's no wonder that it has drawn one species here from far and wide, the content creator. Ah, what magnificent beasts! Cameras in hand, ready to pose at a moment's notice. It's here that the masses gather for one of nature's most spectacular reunions. This is Sony's Camera Camp.
Well, we're back from Sony Camera Camp, where over 100 of us creators got together to play with the Sony A7R4, the A7 III, the A7S III, liar, if only, and the A6600. That one's for real. They also gave us these dope wandered bags. Look at the pockets on this thing, man. These things are awesome. They also gave us these insane 1000 MX3 over-ear headphones. Absolutely amazing. So was Camera Camp awesome? Yeah, it was dope. Now, before we get into all the camera goodness, we all know college debt is just getting completely out of hand, and the fact is, you no longer need a fancy degree to succeed, especially if you're in the creative space. What you need is to learn how to be the best from the best. And that's where today's sponsor, Skillshare, comes in. Skillshare is a digital learning platform that provides access to thousands of courses in the creative space, things like photo and video editing, but they also focus on business, entrepreneurship, technology, practical courses that actually help you and your business succeed, grow, and make money, all for an annual subscription of less than $10 per month. Use my promo code by going to the link here or by clicking the link in my description to receive a 2-month free trial. Skillshare.com, check them out. Okay, back to the camera journey. So I began my YouTube career with this little baby Canon T2i. I actually love this camera. It's a great little camera, but very quickly upgraded in 2017 to the A6500 for its size, its ability to shoot in 4K, as well as 1080 at 120 frames slow motion, the advanced picture profiles like S-Log, filmmaking features like focus peaking, and the touchscreen autofocus. I absolutely loved it. It's a phenomenal camera, but I did have some issues with it, and with the release of Sony's A6600, Sony really fixed most of the issues that drove me crazy on here. Lesson number 1 from the trip: label your memory cards. 4 different cameras, footage from like 8 other shooters, and I cannot tell which clips are from the A7R4, A7 III, A6600, or the A6500. So yeah, I messed up. Enjoy the B-roll sequence that is my tribute to all cameras Sony. Here are the 5 biggest ways, in my opinion, that the A6600 is kicking the garbage out of the A6500. On the A6500, it used to get me maybe a little more than an hour of film time before running out of juice, requiring just a huge number of batteries to get through a day of shooting. With the A6600, those 1080 milliamp hour batteries on the 65 have been upgraded to 2280 milliamp hour batteries, which did end up translating to more than double the amount of film time in our first test. Especially if you're a run and gun shooter or filming weddings where you can't be really switching batteries out throughout the day, this is a major upgrade. Well, the touchscreen autofocus really is fairly strong on the A6500, especially for rack focusing just by touching the screen. It still just does not come anywhere close to Canon's dual pixel autofocus. It's just a different ballgame. But with the A6400, Sony greatly improved their autofocus system. I talked about this in my A6400 video, and now on the A6600, we see eye detect and face detect autofocus for both humans and for animals, as well as object tracking. They bumped up the number of contrast detection points from 169 on the A6500 to 425 on the 6600. In my testing, the speed at which autofocus happens, especially with eye detect and face detect, is absolutely spectacular. This camera's autofocus is lightning fast, and it has that ability to track objects effectively, which for me, as a tech reviewer, really clutch. I'm super interested to really push this and put it to the test as soon as I can get my hands on one for more than a day. All right, truth time. I never really understood the motivation behind the way in which the A6500 screen could articulate. I mean, sure, It allows me to get a little bit better viewing angle when shooting high or low, but all in all, it's just not very practical. I ain't no vlogger, but even in a studio setting, being able to flip the screen up at 180 degrees and see yourself when shooting solo, one of the biggest wins going from the 6500 to the 6600. And yes, if you put a mic on the hot shoe, it totally gets in the way, blocks your screen, and looks goofy as heck, but it does still allow you to get your framing right without guessing, and for most of us, it's pretty much all you need. You don't really want to be looking at the screen while you're filming anyways. While it might be a bit small for studio shooting, it just might be big enough to eliminate the need for an external monitor for a lot of people. Also, small but humongous feature on the A6600, you now are able to turn on a sunny day brightness mode, which allows you to keep the screen at full brightness when shooting at 120 frames per second in slow motion. This drove me seriously crazy on the A6500, where I legitimately can't see the screen at all when shooting in any sort of bright condition. I get it, they had overheating issues, and so they dimmed the screen to help with battery life and overheating, but A6600 really wins in this category. If you were ever curious what your audio sounded like on the A6500, well, you could listen to the built-in speaker, but we all know that those are pretty much useless. Finally, we have a headphone jack and can monitor audio before dumping it on a computer. Apple, take notes, sometimes putting a headphone jack in is a good thing. Now, while there was a workaround with a Play Memories app, I never used it, but supposedly it existed. The 30-minute recording limit always frustrated the heck out of me on the A6500 when recording these talking head style videos. I actually have to use my audio recorder as a timer that I check periodically to make sure that I'm not pushing up on my camera limit. The A6600, thank heavens, has eliminated this recording limit, meaning however big your memory card is, that's your new recording limit. If you're shooting events, interviews, anything that's in a longer form, the A6600 gonna be a really solid choice. I don't know why I keep holding this up like this is the A6600. This is the 65. Now those for me are the really big ones, but Sony did a whole lot more with this camera, like increasing the ISO range. They added a 1:1 aspect ratio, which I guess could be fun. You can rock time lapses now. We saw this with the A6400 with the built-in intervalometer. The processor is 1.8 times faster than what's in the A6500. And they included the hybrid log gamma picture profile from the 6400, expanding the dynamic range of the camera while allowing for slightly easier color grading versus S-Log. And even just looking at examples with my homie Dunna, the dynamic range of HLG looks much better than no picture profile, and even just looks easier to color grade than the S-Log 2 example. Throwing a quick color grade on each, they all look great, but I'd be tempted to shoot more often in HLG, honestly. I really love the way it handles color, and I do like that added dynamic range. All in all, these upgrades really take the majority of my complaints with the 6500 and create a much more usable camera for all day and solo shooting. If for some reason in-body stabilization isn't important to you, then the far cheaper A6400 could actually be sufficient, but having in-body stabilization, the A6600 allows you to stabilize even more lenses, and I think makes the A6600 a more functional camera across all compatible lenses. Well, that's it for today, y'all. Sorry about that. I feel my British coming back on.
Cheers to you for your time today. If you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be delightful. Hit that subscribe button if you loved it, and I will see you in the next one.